Welcome to the Fountas and Pinnell Benchmark Reading Assessment video series. Each video is a separate module detailing one topic related to benchmarking. These modules can be viewed in order or watched as separate components based on the needs of teachers. This module, Module 1, will focus on getting started with the Fountas and Pinnell benchmarking system. Within Module 1, participants will learn about the purpose and philosophy of using Fountas and Pinnell, the Fargo Public Schools District Assessment Calendar, and how to report scores, which will be posted in the Data Summit, kit materials, options for ordering materials, such as the leveled recording sheets, and tips for success. Pause here and read this quote from Heinemann. What is your reaction? Discuss your reaction with those around you. Students have real reading experiences with both fiction and nonfiction texts and have comprehension conversations that reach beyond the text to deepen understanding. The text levels and scoring guidelines help determine independent, instructional, and hard reading levels for students. A variety of additional assessments are also available to further investigate elements such as vocabulary and phonics. Tracking sheets, a class summary, and other helpful organizational tools and forms can be accessed in the kit's handbooks or CD-ROM. Using the Fountas and Pinnell benchmark assessment system throughout the Fargo Public Schools will provide teachers and students a common assessment, the ability to track progress similarly from one grade to another as well as across the schools in the district, and allow alignment to the Fargo Public Schools strategic plan in determining 1 year's growth. This slide indicates when the district assessment window is open for benchmarking. This will change year to year. Participants will need to go to the employee portal and then district calendars in order to find the current year's assessment window dates. When reporting scores to the district, this document will be given to you with your class list in alphabetical order. You will need to fill out all of the fields, as this will give the best data record to report to parents and to be used later by your building's data committee when the time is right. Notes are optional, and there's a space provided for you as the classroom teacher to write some observational notes that may help clarify the individual student scores. This sheet should be printed off using the legal size format. Throughout this section, we will be exploring the materials in Kits 1 and 2. This overview will allow you to examine more closely what your kit includes and which essential materials you will need to be successful in administering your benchmark assessments. You may want to take time now to unpack the kit and become familiar with the different components. The following video, System Components, is an overview of the materials in the benchmark assessment kits. As you watch, review the materials within the kit.
Big house, said the skunk.
That was a funny story, wasn't it?
Welcome to the Fountas and Pinnell Benchmark Assessment System 1. I'm Gay Pinnell.
And I'm Irene Fountas.
We developed this benchmark assessment system to help you observe and assess the reading behaviors of children in kindergarten through grade 2. You will be able to find specific text levels that children can read independently and that are appropriate for instruction, so that you can help them make continuous progress in their reading. The Benchmark System 1 is directly linked to our book levels, A through N, and to the reading instruction you provide to small groups.
We have been developing and refining text reading levels for over 20 years. Our gradient of text difficulty begins at the easiest level, A, and progresses to the most challenging level, Z. Each step on the gradient represents a small but significant increase in difficulty over the previous level.
The components of the system include 28 books, 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction text for each level, A through N. These leveled benchmark books are used to identify each student's levels for independent and instructional reading at a specific point in time. A forms book and a CD-ROM containing recording forms for each book with typed text on which teachers record their observations of oral reading and scores for accuracy, self-corrections, fluency, comprehension, and reading rate. Data management software to help teachers track and analyze individual and class assessment data throughout the school year. A professional development DVD that provides individualized training in coding, scoring, analyzing, and interpreting oral reading records and using that information for teaching. The F&P Calculator Stopwatch, which is specially designed to perform highly specific functions related to the system. A reusable book with student copies of optional assessment items. Student folders in which teachers can store assessment records and fill in a reading graph that follows a student from grade to grade. An assessment guide to steer teachers through the process.
In Kit 1, you'll find materials such as benchmark readers, both fiction and nonfiction recording protocols for recording the reading records, some quick reference sheets, and hanging files that separate the materials. Fountas and Pinnell also recommend that the teacher read the books, both fiction and nonfiction, to be familiar with the stories in order to deepen the comprehension conversations. In Kit 1, there are 2 support books, Assessment Forms and Assessment Guides. The Assessment Form book has assessment summaries, recording forms, word tests for where to start assessing, coding and scoring, observational notation, and finding independent, instructional, and hard levels. The Assessment Guidebook has support for coding errors, comprehension conversations, finding levels, and guides for when the assessment numbers do not line up perfectly. You will want to tag these pages for future reference. Participants looking for timely access to professional development will find what they need on the DVDs that are provided in the Kit 1. The Continuum of Literacy provides information about what students are able to do at that particular grade level. The calculator provides quick and accurate information in regards to fluency rates and accuracy within percentages. Kit 2 provides similar materials to Kit 1. We suggest that you unpack Kit 2 and look over the materials in order to familiarize yourself with them. Fountas and Pinnell also recommend that the teacher read the books, both fiction and nonfiction, to be familiar with the stories in order to deepen the comprehension conversations. In Kit 2, there are 2 support books, Assessment Forms and Assessment Guides. The Assessment Form book has assessment summaries, recording forms, word tests for where to start assessing, coding and scoring, observational notation, and finding independent, instructional, and hard levels. The Assessment Guidebook has support for coding errors, comprehension conversations, finding levels, and guides for when the text numbers do not line up perfectly. You will want to tag these pages for future reference. Participants looking for timely access to professional development will find what they need on the DVDs that are provided in Kit 2. The Continuum of Literacy provides information about what students are able to do at that particular grade level. The calculator provides quick and accurate information in regards to accuracy percentages. Assessment Forms CD and Assessment Forms books allow the participant to find consumable materials in 2 different ways. These items hold the reading record sheets for each book in both Kits 1 and 2. The participant is also able to find these reading record sheets in our district print shop site, and there are many online tools and resources that can be accessed by using the URL at the bottom of the page and the product codes. This slide shows the participants some tips for success. Begin with reading the books before you give the assessment. This ensures that you get the best results from the comprehension conversation with the student. It also reduces subjectivity when completing this part of the benchmark assessment. The word test allows a teacher to find a starting point for a student who may not have any reading data coming into the classroom. This gives both the student and the teacher a starting point for the benchmarking. The benchmarking assessment system also recommends that the teacher alternates between fiction and nonfiction. The student is allowed to choose which book they would like to start with, and then it is the responsibility of the teacher to continue up the levels using every other genre. These books should also be a cold read to get the most accurate measure of where the student functions in the area of reading. The benchmark instructional levels chart is one of the most important pieces of information used by participants when determining the independent, instructional, and hard levels. This chart will tell you when to continue with the benchmarking and when the highest instructional level has been reached. Module 2 will explain this chart in more detail and provide opportunities for practice.